places you shouldn't stand when you're using this machine, like if there's people around. Where should people not be?
Right there and then
To the sides, okay? So this spins like this. So depending on where it touches on the disc, it could shoot anywhere in this direction, okay? You're gonna stay there, okay?
what if somebody's working at that?
Well, if someone's using a tool, that's okay. But I mean, like I said before with the bandsaw, you shouldn't be standing here
And it just like
to the side waiting for a
yeah,
machine
but
to
they're
be
over
used.
there and they're working on something, and then the wheel just kind of spins and it goes whistle right out their face.
Awesome. Then that's a freak accident. But like I said, to the sides. Now, if you look at the top, you'll see a nice little arrow in Sharpie. So that arrow means it's going to spin in this direction. So what is that direction?
That is
Clockwise.
right.
To the right or a clockwise
I
direction?
don't know my
Okay.
clockwise.
You don't know your clocks.
Yeah.
She's a digital clock person.
No, actually, I can read a clock. I just don't know
The directions. Okay. So clockwise. Okay. So given that, does it matter what side I put my piece of wood on? Or can I put the wood on any side? So you should put it on the side that's on the downward direction. Okay. So it's pushing down on the right side, so I should have my piece of wood on the right side, because if I take this and if I was to take my spoon and put it on the left side, right now it's not even at full speed. If I touch this, see how it just kind of shot over like that? Imagine that at full speed. Okay, this could send it, like I said, in anywhere on these directions. But that being said, you should only be using the right half of the disc.
Have someone really put it over on the side.
I've never seen it, but talking to other top shop teachers that I've worked with, they've seen students do things that they're not supposed to on here and have them shoot up at like the roof before. So it can happen. Now, so when using this, sanders that spin at high speeds are considered almost cutting tools because they remove a lot of wood quickly. Okay, so you need to make sure that your hands are well away from this, because if you accidentally touch it with your knuckles, it's like getting road rash. It's gonna take your skin off, and it's not gonna feel good. Okay.
When I was little, I used to call it road rash because you could get it
Yeah.
on like carpets and trampolines.
Yeah.
Too. I would call it carpet burn.
Carpet burn. This would be worse than carpet burn.
Or,
So this
oh,
would be
no,
like me.
No, I didn't call it carpet burn. I called it carpet skinned because I would skin my knee.
But this would be like equivalent to me taking your hand, putting your knuckles like this, and just dragging it on the concrete outside.
Yeah.
That's what it would kind of feel like. But it would be going much faster, so it might feel a little bit different. Okay. Now, we'll get there. Okay. Now, when using the disc sander, you should never ever hold it up in the air like this and freehand sand. Whatever you're sanding needs to always be flat on the table. Okay. This table can adjust at different angles, but for like 95, 99% of the things we do, it's going to be set to a 90-degree angle. Like I've never had to use this at a different angle, so we'll keep it at that angle. Okay. Now this disc is getting a little bit worn out, so it's a little clogged and a little burnt. So whenever you're using the sander, if you push too hard into it, you could potentially burn the disc and burn your project, and it's going to gum this up. Okay. So don't just push really hard into one spot. Whenever you're doing it, you want to just kind of go nice and easy, back and forth, so you're using different parts of the disc, and it's not putting a lot of heat in one spot, okay? Because when two things rub together, it creates friction, and friction creates heat before fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
Close enough.
All right. So you need to make sure you're moving it, okay? Because it's going to gum up. Now, the dust collector for sure needs to be on when using this, because if it wasn't on, which before our new system it actually could do this, some students accidentally would turn it on and it would shoot sawdust in their face because the sawdust has nowhere to go, so it just blows back. Okay. But with our new system, it has to be on, so we don't have to worry about that so much. Okay. Now, with most of the machines, I forgot to mention back at the bandsaw, they have these kind of light switches on them.
Yeah.
These are master switches where if I turn it off, it's equivalent to me going into the office and like switching the breaker and locking up the tool. Okay. So, for example, if this is in the off position, I can't turn this on. Okay. It has to be in the on position. But right now, I can't turn it on because the power's out. Now, the disc sander is good for doing outside curves. So this curve here, so this little inside curve, I'm not going to be able to fit it in there because it's going to have that gap.
That's what little strip thing is for, right?
So this one, we would use the spindle sander, which I'll show you guys in a second. Okay. So, can someone turn the power on a bit?
Is that the green button?
Big green button.
I can reach it.
She can reach it.
You have to jump.
All right. There we go.
She didn't have to jump.
All right. So when using this, when we turn this on, it spins at a very, very high speed.
I can feel it. Yeah.
You can feel it vibrating. Okay. Now, some other things. The machine's off, just so you know.
Yeah.
But it spins so fast that this machine doesn't have a brake on it. So it's going to spin for a long time. So in order to, like, you're not going to want to stand here and wait for it to stop. You're going to be here very soon. Usually there's a piece of strap on the back of the sander. Take this and push it gently on the back of the disc until it stops. Okay? Don't just breathe into it because that'll wreck the machine. And don't put it on the side and don't put it on the front. Okay? If you put it on the side, see these grooves that have happened in this block? This used to be square. These little grooves will essentially go in here and it could catch the disc and the sandpaper and it could rip it. And we don't want to rip it. Okay? The front could work, but it's just going to waste my sandpaper, so it's better just do it on the back. Okay? So if I want to sand this outside curve here, these cuts from the bandsaw, I'm going to use this until those are gone. Okay, or the belt sander, or the sander. So we're going to turn it back on. And then we're going to gently sand our outside curve here. Okay? Now, I only have half my spoon cut out, so that's okay. You have a little bit cut out. Then feel this. Nice and smooth. Feel that. That's what the band's like. That's what it's saying. Okay. So, even after you use a power sander, you're still going to want to sand it by hand a little bit because it's hard to see, but there's going to be little swirl marks left from the sander. Okay? And if you want to have a really good project, you want to get rid of those swirl marks. So you're going to want to sand it out with the grain until those are gone. Okay? Is there any questions about this sand?
Can you do the rubber thing now?
Oh, the rubber thing, yes. This is the student's favorite part. Okay? So after this has been used a bit, let me just use it up a little more. Okay? Okay? Now, this is something you don't have to do often. Okay? Usually I'll have this in my office. It's essentially a giant eraser, just like a big piece of rubber almost. So using this, I can clean the disc and it's going to pull off a lot of the sawdust so that we can reuse the disc and it's going to last us longer. Okay? So when you use it in the middle, push it and work your way to the outside. Okay? This is very satisfying. I don't know why, but students really love this part. You ready? All right, here we go. Like that. And then this gets pretty hot and it's going to leave little rubber chunks all over the place. Yes. And then just kind of wet this off a bit just because it leaves little rubber bits on it. Now it's nice and clean, or as clean as we can get it. Okay? But these black marks are from a student pushing on it too hard and it's kind of burned the disc. So you got to be careful with that. Right. Any questions about the disc end? What?